So we are warming up now for leg day with a step. And I thought about wearing some short shorts for unleashing the heat out of the legs during this workout, but it's just not quite warm enough in here for that, although I might feel like it by the end. So mostly focusing on kicking the legs back. So we'll do a good little warm up here. A lot of the exercises we're going to do will focus on using the steps. So we can just target the glutes and the quads and the hamstrings in a little bit of a different way today. And I want you to switch now to crossing the ankle over your knee. So with the foot flexed at the ankle and then squatting down nice and low. Thinking about reaching your tailbone back so you're really angling that stretch into the piriformis muscle. Let's take one more on each side, nice and deep. And then starting with the feet together, side lunge, low enough to open up through the inner thigh with a little twist. Inhale, coming straight up the middle, lengthening the spine, and then come across the other way. Trying to tuck the tailbone under. So tailbone tucks under as you're reaching straight up. Inhale, twist. Good, so every time you take that moment through the middle, we're trying to lengthen as much as possible from the hips to the ribs. And if your palms are towards the ceiling, you can also get that little stretch through the palms and forearms. Last one here. Good, and then keeping the feet wide with the toes turned out. We're going to come down, try to get the tailbone between the knees if you can. If you can do that and still keep the knees open over the ankle. So the deepest squat that you're comfortable with without rounding your back anywhere from the lumbar spine to the upper back. Hands just touch together as you're coming down, keeping the shoulders back. We have 3 more good ones here, really loading the heels. And that'll be a consistent theme through the class today. We'll be keeping weight in the heels so we can really target the glutes and the upper hamstrings and then come all the way up. Okay, so from a lunge position next, so you're on one foot in the back, tippy toe in the back foot. Bring the arms up over the head. We're going to tuck the tailbone under. Lower the back knee towards the floor and then let the arms swing through. So reach, tuck, and then lower. So somewhere between getting a nice deep stretch through the hip flexors and the back quad, and then also warming up the hips and the front leg. And this will be a good segue into our first exercise in the circuit today is going to be our Bulgarian split squats, where one foot will be elevated. We're going to switch legs. Okay, if you're doing this workout with no step, that'll be fine as well. Other leg, arms up. Relax the arms through. Remembering to tuck every time tailbone goes under. Heavy on that front heel. Inhale with the arms up. Step down. Okay, one more here. And then relax. Okay, so Bulgarian split squats. So we're standing on one foot. The other foot rests behind you on your step, your stool, your chair, whatever it is that you're using. And being really mindful to keep the body weight on the front leg. So heavy on the front foot, light on the back. And then we need to square the hips. So before we do anything, make sure that both hips, I like to say that they're in the front seat together. You've got the driver's side and the passenger side by side. Nobody's in the back seat. We don't want to twist or torque the back, especially if we start adding the weights. And for 30 seconds, we're going to come down until this front thigh is, if possible, you're going to try to get it parallel to the floor. That femur bone parallel to the floor at the bottom. Another way of thinking about it is your tailbone right behind this hip at the bottom, and then we're kicking into the heel to come up. So by engaging the abs tight to support the lower back, and then kicking hard and fast to come up, we're going to recruit those fast twitch muscle fibers in the leg. So fast is relative. If we have weights, which I'm going to add on my second set, Then fast is more like power than speed. One more here, and we'll switch. Okay. Other side. So even with no weights, if you've got that loaded right, you're feeling like the muscles in the glute are doing all the work there. Inhale down, exhale up. And again, keeping both hips in the front seat. The reason I keep mentioning this is because I'm the one that has, really has to remember this. I will be the first one having twisted hips, so don't be like me. Keep both hips in the front seat. I think I've got it locked in now. We've got 5 seconds left. Good, breathing strong, heavy over that front heel, nice and low. And then last one here. Okay, really simple. We're gonna go back to the other leg. We haven't really had a break, but this leg did, right? So that's the whole point here. If you need to take a break for your breathing, to catch your breath, do that. I'm gonna add some weights here. If you've got dumbbells or some resistance that you could add on, go ahead. Let's do it. 30 seconds, inhale coming down. Exhale up. So great practice for balance, stability, good, especially through the hips. So that leg in the back, that's the side of the hip you're trying to keep forward. Not letting the chest turn towards the back leg. Stay heavy in that front heel and shoulders back. So nothing is rounding there at all. When we get to the top, full hip extension, tucking the tailbone under, just like we did in the warm-up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then switching sides. Okay, we're getting some heart rate elevation here. This is good. Inhale down, exhale up. Hips are square. And we're keeping equal body weight over all 4 corners of that foot. Big toe, baby toe, inside and outside of the heel. Good, go at whatever pace is allowing you to get as deep as you're strong enough to go. Good, reaching out through the crown of the head at the top and tucking that tailbone under. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, setting the weights down. Step ups are next. So I'm gonna just slide in so I can keep an eye on you as well, but move to where you're comfortable. 1 foot on your chair. Please make sure if you're using a chair, whatever it is that you're using can be trusted. If you're not sure, don't do it. Just go with the lunges. We're gonna put 1 foot here, hands on the hips, abs tight, lean forward over the front foot. Come right up to the top, lifting the knee. Modify as needed for any concerns that you might have about balance. In the studio, I often do these, with this bench close to a wall, so people can grab the wall if they're feeling a little unsteady at any point. Okay, so as we go along here, I want you to notice how the bottom leg could be helping a lot. And we're gonna try not to kick off all that much. So we lean forward, and we're really saying, hey, top leg, you're in charge. You're the one doing all the work, initiating the movement, coming all the way up to the very top, tucking the tailbone under. Last one here, and then we're gonna switch sides. Okay, other side. These workouts where we alternate having the power leg and when we're on one leg are really great for the abs as well. With those internal obliques, work hard to help keep the hips stable. Even here, keeping the heel of the foot loaded. Then we're using that strong top leg to lower us down, trying not to crash at the bottom or not to land heavy. Light landings, gentle landings, and really strong lifts. Last 3 seconds, 2, 1, and then all the way Back down. We're gonna do the same thing here where we go right back to the first leg that already rested, even though we didn't take a rest. So if you need one, please feel free, set your own timer. Here we go. We're gonna start. I'm gonna start on this other leg. And then this time, I'm focusing on really like 100% using that front leg as much as possible. So slow it down if you need to, so that you're taking that back foot off the ground earlier. So strong through the core. Yes, really wanting to feel that in the glutes. This is your hill climbing muscles here. Mountain climbing muscles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then switching legs. Stay with your breath. So this is your practice nice deep inhales through the nose, exhales through the mouth. 30 seconds. Here we go. Load the front heel. Okay, if you imagine that there's a flashlight shining out through your kneecap, you want that light to be shining straight above the first and second toe the whole time. Try not to let that knee roll in or out. So it's those abs and glutes that are locking that in place. Good, right from the bottom, imagine that you're pressing the top of your head up to the ceiling, so your whole body is charged, strong. Good, getting as tall as you possibly can at the top. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Woo, good for us. Okay, quick little break here on leg day. We are going to walk the hips forward. You have the brain just sitting on the seat, and take, if you have any weights, resting a weight on your hips. So I'm going to grab slightly heavier weight. If you don't have a weight, it's okay, don't worry. Okay, I'm back. So here's the plan from sideways. You could do this on the floor if your step isn't big enough. It will work awesome on the floor. So weight on your hips, and then your upper back is on your chair or your step. Okay, so if you've got a chair with a back on it, you might need to go sideways, or if it's just not long enough, on the floor is great. We're gonna lower the hips just a couple inches, not as far as we can go, and then push all the way up, making sure that the ankles are straight down, if not even a little bit further forward of the knees. Down and then up, down and then up. On the way up, nothing soft and gentle about the up. It is like getting to the top as quick as you possibly can, up in less than a second if possible, then coming down slow, but not going all the way down. So it's just a little drop, and then all the way up. Let's go even a little bit faster. Last 10, 9. These hip lifts with the glute squeeze and kicking the heels down into the ground. Again, trying to fire up those fast twitch muscle fibers in the glutes and the hamstrings. 3, 2, 1, and then carefully bring the weight down, up, plunk, plunk to the floor. Awesome. Okay. So combining this one with the squat, I'm going to use the same weight that I just used for the hip lift for these plie squats. So with the feet wide, we will not be using the step for this part. With the feet wide, toes turned out, holding the weight however you're comfortable. If you can have it in your hands, that would be a good option. You can hold it at the bottom with straight arms if you like. I'm going to take it just from sideways here. 30 seconds. Here we go. And again, we want the knees turned out over the second toes. Just make sure that the feet aren't so wide that your knees are rolling in. And shoulder blades are way back. Want to take every opportunity that we can to train the body to have good form so that when we do go to reach for something in the middle of the day, we're not really thinking about our technique. We're still keeping strong through the core. Those muscles are supporting the spine at all times. 5 seconds. Kick into the heels to come up one more time. And placing the dumbbell on your lap, getting ready for a second set of hip lifts. All right, here we go. So technically, because we're on our back for these, whether you're on the floor or on your step, it does bring the heart rate down. It doesn't change how much the glutes burn. Here we go, 30 seconds. But it does bring the heart rate down because we are, our head and our heart are at the same level. The heart works the hardest when we're standing. Obviously, that's the complete opposite of lying down. So let's take this opportunity to really focus on the hip lift and the glutes. Kind of big exhale to the top. I hope you're breathing as loud as I am. Those exhales should be so powerful from your diaphragm that it sounds like you're having a tennis match with yourself. On the exhales, that's 3, 2, 1, and then slowly coming down, or carefully, which is really more important than slowly. Okay, we've got one more set of those plie squats. Maybe more weight than last time, maybe the same. 10 seconds till we go. All right, I'm going in for the same. Feet in the same place, all the good stuff, shoulders back. It's on for 30 seconds, bend the knees, and then come up. Even here, hips push all the way forward at the top, full hip extension. We want to have that lower back get a moment of relief. Continuously drawing the belly button in towards the spine, especially as the knees bend. Big inhales. Keep the energy coming into the legs. 3, 2, 1, and then setting the weight all the way down. Woo, very good. Okay, we're going to use the step again for a curtsy squat step up. So the main deal here is to have the leg crossing back at the top. So with your foot on your chair or your step, come up to standing tall at the top. So this is sort of business as usual. But then coming down, that leg is going to cross back. We're still going to try and keep both hips in the front seat. If you're very tight here, just work a little bit harder to keep the abs pulled in, leaning forward into the heel to come up. And then that foot kind of goes off to the side slightly. So we cross it back as much as you can, reaching the tailbone behind, and then up. And slow it down as much as you need to. Try and keep that really good alignment. So without the alignment, you're kind of just doing a regular step up all over again. Nothing wrong with that, but you're going to miss the change here, which is targeting the outer glutes even more and working on that mobility because of the extra reach, getting that stretch at the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then switching to the other leg, either from the top or the bottom. Here we go. Cross. And then remember that that back leg, the harder it pushes off to come up, the less effort you're getting from the top glute. So if you're not holding any extra weights and you do feel the strength in your leg, let's challenge it by leaning forward first. Worst case scenario, you don't make it all the way to the top and you just come back down to the foot. But every time, brace through the abs, kick into that heel, press your way to the top. You want to make it challenging but doable. Keeping the hips squared, so both are at the front, side by side, not letting that back leg twist your whole lower body behind you. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you know we're gonna go straight into that other set again, right? Okay, if your heart rate feels like it's so high that you feel a little bit dizzy, a little bit shaky, take some extra breaths here. There's no rush. But if that's not the case, let's just do it. It would be easy to just stand around and go, oh, look, I'm breathing heavy. I should take a break and have a glass of water or go do something. Does your mind put all those ideas in your head too? This is why we need to do this together, right? So it just cancels out the extra chatter. Also, it's kind of why I never stop talking when I'm teaching these classes, because I want to be the voice in your head so that you don't have a chance to think about all of those unrelated things. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then switching legs. Good. And of course, you're going to override my voice in your head whenever your body has something that's talking to you. Forward and up. Here we go. Crossing back. 30 seconds to finish our last set of curtsy squats with the step. Good. Always reaching the tailbone back. Always pulling the belly button in. The shoulders are down low to the hips the whole time. Practicing no shrugs. Loading that heel before we come up, so it's not too much help from the back leg unless we need it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, amazing. Okay, more leg fun to go. We're gonna be on our back. I'm gonna grab my mat. So this is the plan. We're gonna be on our backs with the feet on top of the step. And both legs will be on the step. You can actually have yourself fairly close. I'm going to come in this in just a little bit more. Okay. So remain close to your step, on your back, feet on top. Even if they're not totally flat, that's okay. So just be careful that you're not pushing out into your step or your chair. So as we roll up, we actually want to be having body weight pushing straight down and then bringing the hips down. So it's a variation of the hip lift that we were doing earlier, warming up with a couple double leg hip lifts. And so rolling up and then rolling from one vertebrae through the upper back down towards the lower back, as opposed to arching the back. So just want to make that distinction. And then rest your hips on the floor. Extend one foot straight up towards the ceiling, abs pull in tight. We're going to do 10 single reps from here. Try not to rest at the bottom. You're lowering your hips, but you're not putting the weight of your lower body on the floor. 5, 4, pressing that heel to the ceiling. If it feels like you might cramp in the back of that pressing hamstring, you're doing it right. 2, 1, and then take the break, switching legs. Other leg extends, toes down to the nose and pressing into the bottom foot. Up for 10. And here, trying to keep that knee and the hip bone in a straight line. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then all the way back down. Okay, here's where we're going to squeeze in a quick little ab segue. So we're going to lift the head and shoulders. So we're holding a small crunch here with the arms back. And then take your right foot, touch it to the floor, and then left. As you do this, keeping that lower back very firm, no twisting, no arching. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then resting the head. Here we go, hips up, second set. Good, roll up. One leg extends. Down and up for 10, 9, 8. Exhale on the up. If your chair is moving away from you, it's just an indication that you're pressing away Instead, I want you to pull the heel towards your hips instead of pushing your heel away from your hips. And then switch. 10. Good. If for whatever reason the single leg is not working for you, keep both feet on the step and do all 20 reps like that. 2, 1, and then the hips down. Exhale, lift the head and the shoulders. One more time, alternating heel taps. We're targeting those lower oblique abdominals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your head. Okay, here's the grand finale. This one's going to take us right to the end of the workout. Keep your left foot on your chair. Cross your right your right ankle over your knee. And then hands behind the head. We're going to roll up left shoulder towards right knee. Exhale, up, and then back. Take your time to really pull the belly button through into the spine. So instead of letting the belly button push out and away from the spine, we're hugging it in as we come up. Just 3 more on this side. Resting just long enough to switch legs. Good, ankle to the knee. Keeping this bottom heel on the chair. And rolling up right shoulder to left knee. And making the shoulder go the distance. Not allowing the knee to sneak in closer. You can feel how your body wants to help you out, right? Oh, we just sneak that leg in and make it a little easier. No, we don't want it to be any easier. We always want it to be as hard as we can handle it. In the gym, anyways. In our workouts. 3, 2, remember pulling that belly button in and relax. Awesome. Okay, so quick stretch here. We're gonna just target the glutes, so ankle over the knee once again. This time, reach your arm between the legs and pull it in nice and tight. So we want to hold that stretch a little bit longer when we're not going to be needing the muscles to work hard for us anymore. So it relaxes the muscles, takes out any excess energy or tension from the muscle. If we did this at the beginning, it would weaken our strength. So that's why the dynamic warm-up is a distinction from the final cool down. It's funny how all of these little things make such a big difference. Just the exact same stretch, but you hold it longer makes a big difference in the effect overall. Good. And then turning onto your front, one final stretch that we'll do together. Reaching back for your foot. So if it's the right leg, grabbing with the right hand, pushing both hips into the floor. If you can even squeeze your glutes, squeeze your butt while you're kicking your foot into your hand. And then the joke is keep kicking, don't stop kicking, add some more kicking. It's all about the kick. If you're just kind of holding your foot, unless you're very tight there, you may not feel enough. So keep kicking, and then don't forget to kick. And then we'll switch. It's a lot of effort to keep kicking. So it's kind of a joke, but it's also like, it needs to be in your head. Kick and kick and kick and kick and kick and kick. Yeah. You know what I mean. One more here. Deep breath with the kicks. And then release. Okay, if you've got any other tight spots through the legs, this would be a great time to work them out. So don't end your stretching session right there. But thank you for joining me today. For leg day, I hope you walk around feeling the wonderful effects of all of that.